South China Morning Post, 16th of February 2023, Iran state visit scheduled for China's Xi Jinping as Ebrahim Raisi concludes fruitful trip to Beijing. Like the East India Company, China is engaging in the old game of divide and conquer by supporting Saudi Arabia and Iran while selling arms to both nations. Iranian leader Ebrahim Raisi had just returned from his first official visit to Beijing when the two countries announced that Chinese President Xi Jinping would pay a state visit to Iran. The statement added that Xi gladly accepted the invitation from the Iranian president but did not mention a visit date. In 2016, as part of a tour of the area, Xi paid his most recent visit to Iran. This occurred as Raisi wrapped off his three-day state visit to China on Thursday. This was the first visit to China by an Iranian president since 2018 in general. During his visit, the two key partners committed to deepening their political, economic, security, and agricultural relations, the latest sign of their enduring bonds as tensions with the U.S. rise for both countries. In the statement released on Thursday, China and Iran also reiterated their strong mutual support on matters of fundamental importance. It added that the Iranian side would continue to maintain the One China policy, and China is adamantly opposed to outside forces meddling in Iran's domestic affairs and undermining Iran's security and stability. The statement continued, without going into detail, some countries cannot benefit at the price of others, and the security, interests, and positions of all countries should be respected. Raisi said his trip to China was fruitful and successful. He said that up to 20 cooperation documents were signed, including ones on closer connections in commerce, agriculture, and industry, as well as renewable energy and infrastructure, after arriving back in Tehran on Thursday morning. According to a statement, China committed to assisting Iran in improving its food safety and agricultural output in exchange for Iran exporting more high-quality agricultural products to China. It said that both parties were ready to cooperate in putting their 25-year comprehensive cooperation agreement into effect. The historic agreement attracted considerable attention when it was signed in March 2021, but it hasn't advanced much since then. In addition, China and Iran have agreed to explore establishing a related framework for mutual political consultation to further their security cooperation. This will include holding bilateral discussions on counterterrorism-related topics. The two defense agencies will coordinate more strategically in the future, and this year they will hold a meeting on internal and external security. As 62-year-old Raisi arrived in Beijing on Tuesday for his first presidential visit, the city had laid out the red carpet. At the Great Hall of the People, Xi welcomed him and presented him with a 21-gun salute. The following day, while delivering a speech at the esteemed Peking University and receiving an honorary professorship, Raisi urged collective resistance to threats from the U.S. and its allies. He later joined Chinese Muslims who were praying at a mosque in the heart of Beijing hours later. Iranian state-run Islamic Republic news agency reports that Raisi allegedly told Muslim brethren that his nation has grown more resilient than ever despite U.S. efforts to sow unrest in the Middle East. The goal of the joint statement was to express solidarity on various international issues, such as the necessity of including Israel in the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Pact and Middle East peace and peace in Afghanistan. Israel, meanwhile, views Iran's nuclear program as a top concern. Therefore any such action might meet with opposition from the Jewish nation. While Iran was breaking its commitment, the statement also attributed the U.S. exit from the 2015 Iran nuclear deal to many current issues without elaborating. The Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, JCPOA, formerly called, sought to loosen sanctions against Iran in exchange for limits on its nuclear program. However, the deal ended in 2018 when then U.S. President Donald Trump pulled out. Worries over the agreement's future have been raised since last year when negotiations to revive the deal were essentially shelved. The statement referred to the deadlocked negotiations and tensions between Iran and the U.S., saying that the unilateral exit of the U.S. from the JCPOA is the fundamental cause of the current crisis. A key component of the JCPOA is lifting sanctions and securing economic benefits for Iran, and all applicable sanctions should be fully lifted in a verifiable way to support the return to full and effective implementation of the accord, the JCPOA states.